Hey Fae folk, welcome back. Monster High has decided to grace us with stock photos and release information for the G1 style collector River Styxx doll, and I'm here to give you all my feelings about it. I won't make you wait too long. I promise I'm going to show you the doll in just like half a second here, but I did just want to give, my typical disclaimer that these are just my opinions and it's completely fine if you disagree with me as long as you can be nice about it. I just want to emphasize that today because her release has been significantly more contentious than I expected it to be. And I'm not saying that the reasons are invalid. Some of it is like a little bit more of a sensitive issue, nothing like insane, but a little bit more of a sensitive issue. And some of it is simply just, different people like different things. But just because this has been a very contentious release, let's just try to keep everything kind and civil and calm in the comments, even if we are discussing, because I love a good discussion. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, nor do I want everyone to agree with me all the time. That would be super boring, but let's just keep it cute, okay? Cool. Let's look at River. And here she is. So I am in the camp of people who loves her. So sorry, I do think that she is an incredible doll, and I am unbelievably excited for her release. That being said, I'm not letting Mattel slide with some of the shit they pulled with this doll, okay? I'm going to be defending her in some sense, but also I will be critiquing certain aspects of her, okay? So I love her. That's the side that I'm on. But also there are some problems. Before we can get into any of my opinions though on the aesthetics and everything of the doll, just to get the base details out there for you, she is going to become available April 27th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For that first 24-hour period of her being in stock, she is going to be only available to Fan Club members, which is pretty typical of how Monster High has done their releases for the last little while. And then April 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, she's going to have the general release. Obviously, we have no way of knowing as of right now how long she will stay in stock for either of those, but that is how she is going to be released. And she does cost 90 US dollars. Obviously, there will be shipping and taxes depending on where you are located. Those numbers are going to vary. And then there is also the fact that if you want to try to get her early, in that first access window, and you don't have the fan club is $10. But at baseline, this doll is 90 US dollars. We are going to talk about the price closer to the end of the video. We're just not going to get into that right now. Actually, in fact, we're not even going to look at this shot of River because I really, honest to God, don't think that I can begin to address this doll and begin to talk about the fun parts of this doll without talking about her box first. I'm just gonna have to get the bad part out of the way. So let's do that. So with the box, there have been a couple of different complaints. First of all, there is the complaint that this is simply a very large box for this doll. She's a single doll with her scythe accessory that definitely doesn't have to be in a box this big. I do understand that critique. I'm not trying to argue against it. I don't know. I feel like they've done this a few times. Companies semi-routinely make packaging that just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. Maybe it's also just because I'm not a packaging person that it doesn't bother me as much because I'm going to take my dolls out of box anyway. I'm just trying to say I completely understand where people are coming from. The size of the box just didn't really register as a personal complaint to me, but that's not me saying that anyone who's upset about that is wrong. The second complaint about the box is this glitter hourglass thing that she comes with, which I struggle so hard with this because on the one hand, I do think having this glitter hourglass situation going on could have been interesting. It's been a hot second since I watched Haunted, but I think that River had a confetti cannon or something like that. Something about the sparkles and the glitter and the confetti is resonating to me as being very appropriate for River Styxx and her personality. But with that being said, I don't think that they executed it very well. At first, when I saw this, I thought this was a whole accessory that she came with. And while even that to me, I was that's a little bit much. I think the idea of referencing that is cute. Even that would be a little bit much for me. But zooming in, it looks like this is just basically, it's not technically a blister pack, because I think that that's only the correct terminology if the whole box is like this. But it looks like this is literally just a a plastic half hourglass that's attached to the cardboard. So it's just like a piece of the packaging that can very easily get damaged, and it's attached to the box, and it's not like an actual accessory. And at that point, I think it's stupid. Again, I think the vague concept of having something that is referencing that sparkle glitter party personality of Rivers is really, really cute and is really fun. But I do just think that the way they executed it is so dumb. Like this, it looks like the packaging from like the shitty Rainbow High dolls that we get now. And I just can't understand putting this on a collector level doll. Again, I was less upset about it. Like I still was like, oh, that's sort of odd, but whatever. When I thought it was a full 3D piece, but like it doesn't look like it's a full 3D piece. So I have literally no idea what we're doing here. However, the by far worst like thing about the box is the allegation of AI usage. I'm saying allegation to cover my own ass. Okay, this one I can't lie. I kind of believe. As a side note, I'm rather hesitant to like call things AI, not because I don't think it's harmful. I do. I just think that sometimes people are a little bit too eager to scream AI, and like some people, I truly believe their heart is in the right place. So this is not like a call out post. But I do believe that like some people literally say that every single box is made of AI, and I think that might be a little bit too much. I genuinely want to dive into this topic in either a dedicated video or maybe in my April recap. Let me know which one you guys would prefer in the comments down below, because like I have a lot of feelings about this. We're not going to be discussing my general feelings on people like making AI accusations in this video, because that's got to go somewhere else. We're just talking about this box. This is one that I do feel pretty comfortable saying I personally believe AI was used. Again, I'm not saying anything confirmed. Mattel, don't come after me. But I personally do believe that AI was used in this packaging, and again, harmful and wrong. There are a lot of reasons to be against generative AI, from the fact that it's like basically stolen artwork because it's trained on a bunch of existing art without getting the creator's permission, and it's bad for the environment. Like there's a lot of things going into that, which is why people care. Again, something that I would discuss more in a dedicated video, just as like the most brief possible rundown. That's why a lot of people are against generative AI, myself included. Anyway, the reason that I think River's box is AI is, if we zoom in, I have an image here where I've shittily circled the banisters in the background, and you can see the top balcony row, like the top circle there. All of the banisters have skull and then an hourglass underneath, right? So instead of like a typical railing where it would just be the vertical bars to keep you safe and keep people from falling, the vertical bars are all hourglasses. And then when you go to the second layer of the balcony, the bottom circle here, you can see that the railing like closest to River still has the skull and then that hourglass as like the, you know, vertical piece on three of them. And then where the box has like a corner and curves, suddenly there are skulls indicating where there should be more like hourglasses underneath the skulls, but there aren't any hourglasses. And there are hourglasses in that same spot on the top layer of the balcony. So that inconsistency, to me personally, does read as not necessarily the most human mistake, because obviously humans can make mistakes in art as well. This one does seem a little bit, that just reads as suspicious to me personally. So unfortunately, I do think that, if not entirely, because it is possible that like a human being had something to do with this packaging, but I do believe on a personal level that there was some AI used with this, which sucks. I mean, there's no other way for me to put it. Like it sucks. That's incredibly wrong. It's awful of Mattel to be doing that. Again, literally, I don't know what else to say, because it genuinely does feel like it doesn't matter how much I scream that into the ether. These billionaire tech bro assholes want AI to be a thing. And so like it's going to be a thing until it stops becoming profitable and good for them. And I hate that, and it's foul. But like, anyway, sorry, we're getting a little bit too in my feelings. We're getting a little bit too in my feelings, and we're getting a little bit too distracted. We need to focus on the topic at hand, which is River. Point is, the box is really big. That's, you know, not great, but less of a problem. I do think the sparkly nonsense is nonsense because of how they executed it. Like they could have done something cute with that, and then they didn't, and then the AI is trash. So let's move on to River, which is the part that I actually like the good part to me. So let's just go top down and look at her face first. I love her face. Like the sheer fact that we are finally getting the river with the skull and like the transparent skin, I think is unreal to the point where it genuinely still feels a little unreal to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being dramatic, but like I really like River's original doll. Like I'm a huge River Styxx fan of her aesthetically. Like I just think she looks really, really pretty. And it's so exciting to get to see this elevated version of her for me. I love the eyes. I personally don't mind the mouth. A lot of people are questioning the mouth or are upset about the mouth because in some of the promo images, like, or some of the teaser images that we got during the Mattel Creations revealed event, her lips looked like they were a little bit fuller, and people are now unhappy about the lips being a little bit thinner. Obviously, everyone has their aesthetic preferences for dolls and everything. So, like, if you feel that way, duh, you're allowed to. I just don't care. For me personally, like, it doesn't bother me. I think partially because she is a skeleton character, I'm like, well, that sort of makes sense for her to have thin lips. And it's just, it's not something that bothers me aesthetically. Again, not saying that like you're wrong or bad if you feel that way. Just that's kind of my take on it. We can't see a ton of her hair. I'm a little sad that we didn't get stock photos on the Mattel Creation site showing more of her hair. We can see based on the bits that are like framing her face right here, it looks like there is a little bit of either a pink or a light purple rooted in, but it does look to be mostly a very light blue. I'm not mad at it. I'm curious, like I'm yearning to see more, but I'm not mad about it. She does have a really gorgeous, gorgeous cape, and you can see the hood here. It looks like there's like this lace trim, but it looks like there might be an overlay as well. I don't know. I'm really, really vibing with that. She has some sort of headpiece that dangles over her forehead, and she also has earrings. The earrings sort of, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to remember what the coin is called. Oh no. A drachma? Is that how you say it? I don't even know if that's the right word, let alone if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But in Greek mythology, you have to place a coin onto the person's tongue who has died or under the person's tongue. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that one, but they have to have a coin with them in the afterlife to pay the ferryman to go across the River Styx and enter the underworld. So that's what that's reminding me of, which is obviously extremely thematic, and I'm really, really, really here for it. We can also see a little bit of her outfit. Honestly, none of the shots are like stellar for the outfit either, simply because we don't have any stock photos showing us like what's underneath everything, right? Like I'm curious about all the layers that there could be here, but it looks like she's got some sleeves with again like a sort of lacy material. She's got this really, really cool chest piece that is this purple metallicized plastic, but like this purple metallicized plastic. And it's got like the rib cage and some like filigree. I can't tell if there's any designs based on this image, and like bits that go around her waist. I don't know. I love it. I think it's so fun, so cool. She has a high collar. She has another little like coin motif at her neck there. Listen, we're super vibing on my end. Moving on down, we have sort of like a mid-body shot here so we can see a little bit more of her outfit. I can't tell if it's a dress or if it might be a shirt and a skirt. Again, like we just don't really know the number of pieces that are coming with this. I guess I could look at the website description, huh? That might tell me. Good thing I have it pulled up conveniently. Let's see. Okay, so it says River rocks a goth lurk, complete with a tulle miniskirt, lacy bodysuit, and a shimmering black lace robe. Okay, so there's a bodysuit and a skirt. So it does look like it's two pieces, and then it sounds like the cloak is completely separate, which is good. The cloak should absolutely be separate. Anyway, though, with a little bit more clarity there. So there are a few different layers, it looks like, to her skirt, and I really do like the fabrics that they've chosen here. We can see some bracelets that she's got at her wrists with the bows. I will say, I don't even know how many people are complaining about like the look of the bows specifically. Those are maybe my least favorite piece, but I don't even hate those. I don't know. Most excitingly to me is we can see what's going on a little bit with her hands and her arms. So with her hands, the original River had like bones painted onto her hands. This time she has, it looks like a little bit almost of a gradient with her hand. I don't know if that's an illusion or if it is in fact a gradient, but we do have white bones inside like the palm sort of area to her hand, and then the fingers themselves fade out to this transparency, which I think is really cool. And you can see that her skin on her arms matches the skin on her face, where it's this transparent purple color, and you can see the white bones underneath it. And I'm just overwhelmed and amazed. And if we scroll down to go ahead and take at this last like individual shot where we can see her shoes and her legs are the same. And it goes like all the way up her thigh. So she has like transparent skin everywhere. And then she's got the foot bones, the bones in her like shin to calf, like her lower leg, and then her upper leg with the thigh and everything. Y'all, this is incredible. We can't see now because they just like haven't shown us, and I don't believe that they've said anywhere, but it is possible that her entire body has a skeleton inside. And that's high key what I'm hoping for, because I just think that would be absolutely insane for her whole body to be like this. But at the very least, it does seem as though her limbs and her face are this sort of situation. And I'm just so obsessed with it. And then to look at her shoes themselves, they do have various bony attributes. So the heel is sort of like a spine. We also have some chains on there. We've got some other bones kind of forming like straps across her shoes. I think that these are really, really cool. And then unfortunately for her like handheld accessories, this full body shot is sort of the best that I have. Like I didn't see an individual shot of like the details of the sculpting on her scythe or of her little hourglass that she's holding. So we're just gonna have to look at it here. The scythe, this time she does have a proper one. Her original Cordal from the Haunted movie lineup had just like a bow staff. I don't know if it was that they were hesitant to put like a weapon in there or what. I know that they made up a lore reason for it, but I'm saying like in a meta way, I think that perhaps the problem was that they didn't want to give like a weapon. I don't know though. That doesn't make sense because a lot of kids' toys have weapons. Whatever the reason, whatever the case may be, whether it really was just a lore thing or whether there was some like stupid meta reason, this time River has her whole scythe. She has a bow on it, and it looks like some purple chains sort of wrapping around the staff part of the scythe, and then the actual like blade part has some really, really cool sculpted detail going on in there. And then her other accessory is the hourglass, which looks like it's like the same plastic as the majority of the scythe, as well as the plastic of her shoes. Like they all appear to be cast from the same sort of color. But she has this handheld hourglass that almost like is giving lantern, but it is very much an hourglass. And there is, you know, a transparent piece of plastic to serve as the glass itself. And it looks like, I don't know if it's just plastic in there to mimic sand or if there's actually sand in there. I'm fingers crossed that it's actually sand in there, but there's something going on. So I do think that the accessories are really, really cool. Generally speaking, I think this doll is honestly insane. The box is by far the worst thing about her to me. When we're looking at just the doll and just the aesthetics of the doll, I personally am a very happy camper. Again, I know a lot of people are not, and that's totally fine. I do understand some of the complaints. I know people are quite upset about her not having any painted detail on any of her accessories. I truly, like, I hope y'all believe me. I hope that the history of this channel is, like, enough to know that I'm not out here, you know, like, praising Mattel for no reason. I just genuinely am looking at the accessories, and I'm like, I'm not sure where I would put painted detail. Like if I'm thinking about this in terms of, oh, if I were to try to customize and elevate this doll, maybe I would make the blade of the scythe a different material. It would have been sick as hell if they did that in the metallicized purple. But like at the same time, that's not more painted detail. That's just like a different color plastic. Maybe some on the hourglass. It's hard to say because we don't have a very good picture for it. So like it's very possible that the hourglass has sculpting that I can look at and say, oh yes, this should have painted detail. But like I do genuinely believe that the shoes look okay without it. And again, I'm not trying to be out here like kissing Mattel's ass. That is not my MO. I'm just like, sometimes I see shoes and I'm like, these desperately need painted detail, and sometimes I see shoes and it's like, yeah, I honestly think that's okay. And I think it's okay for me personally. Again, you don't have to feel that way, but for me personally, and like her headpiece, from what we can see of it, I'm fine with that all being the silver color. Like, would it be cool if it was more metallicized? Yes. I don't know. I'm just talking. I literally don't know. I also know that people were quite upset because the original River was supposed to be more pastel goth, and some people are not feeling like this is vibing with that. Two things I would like to say, one of which is significantly sassier than the other. So we'll start with the nice one. I said this to one of y'all in my Instagram DMs, and I think that this is just the best way to explain how I look at this doll. When I see her, I don't think that she's not pastel goth. I think that she is pastel goth rather than pastel goth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's just a little more emphasis on the goth part, but I do think there are some elements that are lighter colors, like her hair, obviously, her skin tone, the bows. I don't know. Like, I guess in my head, I'm like, pastel goth is a spectrum from pastel to goth. She's just more on the gothy side. Maybe I'm just coping. I literally don't know. But this is where I'm becoming a little bit of an asshole. I don't know, y'all. Sorry. I do think that there is something sort of ironic, and I get it. It's a different situation. Like, I know. I just have to say this anyway. I think there's something sort of funny about G1 purists hating G3 in part because they're so much more colorful and vibrant and pastel, and then now being upset that this character isn't pastel. And like, I get it. Okay, I know she was originally supposed to be like sort of pastel goth. Very little in G1 of Monster High was even anything close to literally properly goth, if you know anything about the subcultures. But like, she was supposed to be referential-ish to pastel goth. I understand it's a separate situation, but you have to admit there's something sort of funny about that. There's something sort of funny about people being like, Draculaura sucks because she's all in pink now and she never wears enough black. And Frankie sucks because they're always in all these pastel colors. And all of these G3 characters suck because there's just no black anywhere. And then we get this doll and it's like, but where are all the colors? Am I being an asshole? I think I'm being an asshole. We can just move on to the final thing, which is the price. I need to make a very, very, very important distinction here. Do I think that this doll is ultimately worth $90, as in, if we're paying $90 for her, do I think we're getting $90 worth of quality? No. Obviously not. Literally nothing Mattel has come out with in at least the last 3 years, we'll say, probably longer than that if we're being real. But literally nothing Mattel has come out with on a collector level in the last 3 years, with maybe one exception, has been worth the price that they're asking for it. So I am not defending Mattel here. Please do not get it twisted. I feel like I'm having to say that a lot right now. I don't think that she's inherently worth the $90. That being said, I am extremely surprised that people think she was going to be any cheaper. And I know I sound so mean saying that, like it sounds bad coming out of my mouth. But like, we had the teasers for her during the Mattel Creations revealed event. They did not tease a price or anything. And for some reason, some people genuinely thought that seeing this doll, they were like, oh, she's going to be like $50, $60. I have no idea. I'm so genuinely sorry because I know I sound like such a pretentious asshole. I have no idea where you all were getting that impression. Like, I have no idea why, knowing how Mattel is, you would see the promo images for this doll and be like, yeah, she's definitely going to be like a reasonable cost. Again, I'm not trying to defend them. $90 is an insane price to ask, but I literally guessed that this doll would be $90 to $100. Honestly, I was banking on 100. So for me, she's actually $10 cheaper than I really thought she was going to be. But like, I don't know. I think my thing is that God, I don't even know where to start. I feel like I sound so mean and like I'm up Mattel's ass, and that's not the case. I just feel like they are willing to price anything at $90. They will give us absolute dog shit for $90. So I never ever thought that this was going to be any cheaper than that. And I think it's a little crazy that people thought that she would be, especially given all of the detail that is going into this body. Like, that has to cost quite a significant amount of money to like make this doll body and like have it be this super unique thing. $90? No, Mattel are greedy assholes. But like, no part of me ever believed that this would be under like the literal lowest price I could conceive of this doll being was $75. And I feel bad saying that, but like I genuinely think, I don't know. I just think that maybe the people who were expecting this doll to be like 50, 60 were a little bit misguided. Oh my god, that sounds so mean. I don't know. But yeah, that's just sort of my take was like, is she worth $90? No, nothing Mattel makes is really worth the cost that they charge for it, but I that was what I expected. So I don't think that I'm hurting from this. I also think that the body is likely the biggest contributor to the cost. Like some people are also upset about the box because they're like, oh, they spent all the money on this big ass box with this stupid glitter in it. And that's why she's so expensive. And like, I think that's part of it. But I think the majority of why she's so expensive is the body. So like, I don't know. I guess to sum up my thoughts, I'm not happy about the price either. I'm literally never happy with any price that Mattel announces, but I'm not as shell shocked by it as it seems like a vast portion of the community is, or at least a very loud portion of the community is. Why am I getting a phone call? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's sort of my thought on her. For anyone nosy in the audience, that was just my husband. He was just calling to say hi. But I will take that phone call as a reason to get off of my soapbox and stop talking about this doll. In summation, the box, big fat L with the alleged AI use. That's sort of all I have to say with that. The doll itself, I can understand why she's not for everyone. I really hope that my critiques or like my comments or whatever in this video didn't come across as me being like, you're stupid if you feel that way. I was just trying to explain why I don't feel that way. But obviously, if you guys don't like her, you don't like her, and that's fine. Sound off down below. I'm very curious to see how you all are feeling. But with the number of people who don't like her, maybe I'll actually be able to snag her. I want to buy this doll so bad. I will be certainly giving it my all. So fingers crossed that I'll be able to do a review for y'all soon because I really desperately want her. I think that she's super duper fun and I would like to add her to the collection. So those are my takes on it. I'm going to stop talking. Please give me your takes. Just be gentle in the comments because like I said, I feel like this one is weirdly eliciting a lot of feelings in people and I don't want the comments to be a bad place. But that's going to be it for me for today, guys. I hope you're able to enjoy my rambling in this video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.